All right. Welcome, family, to Breakfast with Algeron. Super happy and grateful, guys, for you taking the time to be able to hop onto this call. For those that are watching this pre-recorded, thank you again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel. We want to continually build up our community, build up our spiritual tribe. And again, super happy and grateful to have another opportunity to be able to share some value. Now, we're going to do things a little bit differently. As we know, I did have to change the dates around because Saturdays just really was crunching all the time that I had. I had a lot of things all booked around the same time. So we're going to proceed on with doing Sundays at 10 a.m. With that being said, thank you again, YouTube. Thank you again for all the people that have been sharing and supporting the movement. And I hope you guys gain an insane amount of value from this call. So let's get started. All right. So getting started on live on IG. Amazing. You can see, guys, I'm back at the crib. Awesome. Sheesh. Let me get my hair done. All right, guys. So again, welcome. Um, we're gonna do things a little bit differently today. I know I always like to jazz things up. Currently here at home, just wasn't as far as for IG. It just wasn't. I wasn't able to do Saturdays as much as I wanted to, but I'm still here to share value. And what we're gonna focus on today is gonna be a workshop, right? So it's not just gonna be me talking about the five keys or the seven factors or the five pillars, anything like that. What's going on, Alondra? I'm really going to focus on helping everyone discover their why. Now, a lot of people are in rush to know their why. Everyone's got to, I got to know my why. I got to find my purpose, right? But understand that the faster you try to rush things and finding your why, right? Ultimately, in effect, less the faster you go to finding your why, right, the weaker it'll be. Because discovering your why really takes time and takes a lot of thought and energy to put into it. I was actually talking to my sister Landra, and we were going back and forth about how essentially we were starting to really discover our purpose. We found what really makes us happy, and I want you guys to understand that finding your why is not finding something that's going to help you make a lot of money. You see a lot of people get that confused. We think that finding your purpose means that you automatically are going to find something that's going to make you rich. Finding your why is essentially finding what makes you happy, finding that thing that you can do so effortlessly that when you look at the time, you're like, wow, I didn't even realize time flew like that. So I want you guys to understand that finding your why and finding something that's going to be profitable or essentially help pay the bills are two separate things. Now, if you're lucky enough, some people do find their why that aligns also with a very profitable opportunity, right? Not everyone gets that, but I want you to understand that being rich is not a matter of finances, it's a matter of happiness. Do you enjoy doing what you do? Do you wake up excited doing what you love most, right? Your why is what makes you inspire. Your why is what wakes you up every single morning. So I want to give you guys a breakdown on how to start to discover your why. I don't want anyone to think that you're going to find your why off of one call with Breakfast with Algeron, right? This is something that is going to show you the way you need to think so you are mindful of these things so you can get one step closer to finding your why, right? We have some strong entrepreneur women on this call right now. And I know for a fact that they're very close to understanding what their why is because they've taken a lot of time to think about it. But if you're watching this recording, if you're hopping on IG, I want you to understand that this is going to help you critically think. And that's why this workshop is going to be really impactful. I did it for my office last week, and it really had them thinking a lot about their life, about their purpose, what they're good at, what they love to do. So I hope you guys get a lot of value from it. If you guys want to participate, I would very highly encourage you to get a pen and paper because I'm going to do a lot more interactive things. And if you guys are open to sharing either in the chat or on YouTube or even just to yourself, it's really going to make it that much more impactful, right? So again, People are in such a rush to find out a purpose, but it ends up not lasting long. You can't rush purpose. You have it takes so much time into critical thinking, understanding what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing. So everything all starts around understanding your values, and your values are what creates your purpose. Understanding what means the most to you helps you understand what your purpose is. So I want you to challenge you to write down three things, three values that are important to you. And I'll give you guys a list of examples because there's so many values out there, right? So some of the top 10 human being values, right, are as follows. And you don't have to pick these, but these give you some examples so you kind of have an idea where to start. So the first value of being a human being is health and energy. Love is number two. Gratitude and appreciation, kindness and compassion, integrity, giving, charity, growth, peace, family, friendships, and connections, and happiness. So those are some of the very strong values that most people do share, but we may have our own values. So I want you to write down three values, right? And if you guys are comfortable enough, right? Because we're all family, this is all a community. We show nothing but love and gratitude to one another. Drop it in the chat of what stood out to you the most. You know, what are your values that are really important to you? Because this is going to help you really start to understand where your role is in the world, but it all starts with what you stand by. So this is going to really help you guys start to critically think about yourself and help you identify what your specific role is and how you can give unto others. So I'll share with you guys while you guys are typing, writing it down, or typing in the chat, right? So my top three values were health and energy, love, and family, friendship, and connections. So we got Alondra saying serving, which goes along with giving back for sure. I mean, if I could say all of them, it is all of them, but those were my top three. But I appreciate you sharing. So health, energy, love, and like I said, family, friendship, and connection. So now we've identified what your values are, right? You identified a value that's very, very important to you. I want you to create a mission statement using your values, right? And again, if you want to share, drop it in the chat, right? And we appreciate it because it's just showing us that, we're all going down the same path. But I had mine's written out. I'm going to share with my mission statement based on the three values I gave you guys. And I want you guys to get an idea of having a mission statement is essentially one or two sentences that speak about you. When people first meet you, if you couldn't speak and all people could judge off of you as your mission statement, how would they interpret you? And I want to incorporate your values into it. All right, bet. Gratitude, Melanie, gratitude, growth, health, and energy. Absolutely. Actually, we'll see who's the OGs, right? And I'll even give you guys a hint. What are the two highest form of emotion, right? Who could tell me in the chat? What's the two highest forms of emotion? My sis Melanie, she named one of them, gratitude, right? What's the second one? I want to check and see if you guys been tapping in. The two highest forms of emotion. It's blank and gratitude, or gratitude and you guys tune in the mornings with Neno as well. He also talks about it as well. Hey, there we go. There we go. Love and gratitude are the two highest forms of emotion, for sure. So, like, the best way you can feel good is just showing love and gratitude at all times. All right, all right, all right. We got the OGs in here. I see you. But going back to my mission statement. So, my mission statement starts as your name, believes in, and then your mission statement. But to give you guys an example, right? So my mission statement, because this is something I really stand strongly behind, is Algeron believes in building strong and long-lasting connections with everyone he meets by showing unconditional love to all. In doing so, this will sustain positive energy within, thus promoting good health. So you guys see how I incorporated my three values, both love, right? Health and energy, and family, friendships, and connections. So those are what I stand by. Those are my pillars. So I understand that based upon my values, right? My purpose should focus on building connections, showing love, and sustaining good health. And I incorporate all of those. It doesn't have to be three, but your mission statement should incorporate your values. Now, understanding and having a mission statement, it's not to sound cool. It's not to, you know, it's not to flex, right? It's not just for clout. Understanding your mission statement sets the foundation. You're giving yourself a purpose. You're giving yourself an identity. Who are you? Where do you stand at in this world? And what is your purpose? You can't do that unless you have a foundation, right? Nothing can be built upon anything unless you have a foundation first. So I want to ask you guys, how does your personal mission statement connect to what you're doing now? How does your mission statement connect to what you're doing now? Your career, right? Your role in your family, or even does it? Because that's a lot of times I found myself working at jobs that my mission statement wasn't aligning with the mission statement of the company or what I was doing as a job. And that's why a lot of times people feel conflicted. That's why turnover rate is as high as it is now, because people identify that their purpose or their sense of purpose is not aligned with the companies or with what they're doing. And that's why people aren't feeling fulfilled with their jobs. No, it's not to shame jobs. It's not to say we don't need them. No, I don't mean that at all. But what I say this is to press upon you the point that we should not be jumping into things impulsively. If it's not aligned with your mission statement, if it's not aligned with your values, why are you doing it? It's no wonder people aren't motivated to waking up every day. It's a no wonder people are dragging their feet, right? Almost 93% family, 93% of people in the world are not happy with the life that they're living. But it's because they're doing things that goes against who they truly are because people don't know their purpose. And I do these calls. I set up this workshop because I really want people to really identify their purpose. Understanding your purpose and then living it out is by far true happiness, right? And this isn't any mediocre commercialized happiness. I'm talking about true happiness. When you understand what your role to play, you understand that what your job is to give back to others, right? Like Alondra said, when you find a way to be and give back to others, that's living a fulfilled life. But people are living unfulfilled. I lived an unfulfilled life for almost 25 years, and I'm just starting to discover. But hey, you know, as Drake would say, better late than never, right? So understand that when you have that mission statement, you can also start to attract the right people into your life. When you understand your purpose in life, you understand what your role is, how you can give back, you start to attract the right people. Sometimes we don't find this out later into life because we don't start to think about our role, our purpose in life until later on. And that's why when we get, between our mid 20s and, later on, that's why a lot of people are, find the right friends. They find that spiritual tribe, right? The whole Breakfast with Algernon community is a spiritual tribe. It's because we all are aligned. We all have the same values. We all stand by the same principles. Most of us are parents on this call, right? And a tribe is a group of individuals with a common basis of belief. And that's all I focus on surrounding myself around. Again, me and Alondra were talking, and we were, talking about the fact that, we just simply want to focus on surrounding ourselves around the right people. Same thing with my sis Melanie. Focusing on surrounding yourself around the right people comes naturally when you understand your purpose. People who don't know their purpose, they just want to smoke all day and drink all day, turn up every weekend, right? And they surround themselves around the same people that do that. It's because they all are in the same circle of not knowing their purpose, right? Misery loves company. So when you surround yourself around people who aren't really doing the right thing, people who aren't really motivated, you have to ask yourself, are you? Because you only attract what you are. So moving forward, right? So moving forward, right? Now that we've understood, made sure we've questioned ourselves if what we're doing now is aligned with our mission statement. If it is, amazing. Now what do you do? Now let's talk about strengths, right? What is a strength? Because we all have strengths and weaknesses, right? We all have things we are very good at, and we all have things that we need to work on. I never say weaknesses now, actually, because weaknesses is like a negative. It has a negative sound to it, right? Things we need to work on. We don't say weaknesses. We say strengths and things we need to work on. So, what is a strength? You see, a strength is work that you do so well that you slip into flow state. And flow state means when you're so engaged with your work that, again, time seems to slip away. And then you typically often do your best work when you're in the flow state. Think about the stuff that you do so well that you don't even have to think. You're unconsciously competent at it, right? That's another thing. That's another lesson we can dive into is like the different levels of learning, right? Exactly. It just flows, right? Is it you designing? Is it you doing a design? Is it you drawing? Is it you giving to others? It just feels so good that you lose track of time. You lose track of yourself, right? And the best thing about it is you enjoy it. This is how you get close to your purpose. You get into a point of state where it's just so natural. Weakness is your strength because you have discovered it and you have to shift from it. I like that. Okay, I might have to steal some quotes. I might have to start stealing some quotes now. Y'all dropping some bombs in here. Y'all dropping some gems. But yeah, all in all, right? Ask yourself, what are your strengths? And what task are you typically doing when you are in the flow state? So, understanding what specific tasks you do is going to bring you closer to your purpose. The reason being is that you know what you're good at, you know what your values are, and then you knowing now what you're good at and what brings you into flow state. Now we're starting to tie in together how you can utilize your strengths that are based upon your values. And based upon your values, you now know how you can contribute effortlessly back to the community, back to society, back to your country, right? Back to the world. Visionaries, they don't just think about their neighborhood or their immediate family, right? The visionaries are thinking about the world, right? There's a lot of people in the world, right? So write down, what tasks do you typically do? What do you do that allows you to go into flow state? And here's some examples for you, right? So, say for example, your strength is leadership. Well, guess what? You might be good at really teaching other people, communicating. You're good at listening to others, being creative, right? Like I said, visionaries are very creative because they can paint a vision for others. Empathetic. You have the ability to feel for other people, understanding of circumstances, right? So I challenge you to share, what your strengths are and what typically are you doing to really allow you to go into that flow state. And like I said, the ones I gave you actually were my personal ones. I feel like I have very good leadership qualities because I'm good at teaching. I enjoy teaching other people. I don't consciously think, oh, I'm teaching these people, right? I enjoy teaching. That's why I do these calls because I enjoy sharing value. I enjoy helping people learn from my mistakes so people don't have to make the same ones. I think it's because, I'm a Pisces and all that, but that the creativity is there. Like, I don't know. They say that Pisces are dreamers. So I feel like it's very easy for me to paint a vision for other people, right? Because I have a very vivid imagination. But most importantly for me, it's empathy because I have a really grounded understanding for where people are coming from. I can put my ego aside and really understand where someone else is coming from. Now, am I perfect at all of this? No, by no means. But I do feel like I stand out because these strengths of mine really help make other people feel good. So Melanie said, being creative, empathetic, and teaching. Absolutely. There's so many different things you've taught me, Melanie, like astronomical, right? You have amazing brand. Of course, you have to be creative, right? Some of those designs is fire. And if you guys don't know, guys, definitely check out my sis Melanie here on IG, Mrs.Rosa15, because that's an amazing brand. Same thing with Alondra, right? Amazing entrepreneurs that have amazing businesses, right? Super creative. So definitely shout out to both of them, especially for tapping in as well. But again, understanding your strengths and what you do to really allow you to go into that flow state, this is where it's showing you the what now, the actions. What can you do to fulfill your purpose, right? To fulfill your purpose, you have to identify your strengths. And identifying what you need to work on is just going to make you that much better of an individual. So I want to ask some follow-up questions, y'all, because again, this is not meant to show you and teach you your why overnight, right? Take the time to really critically think every single day. Okay, did I get in the flow state at all today? No, okay, it's all good. I'm just gonna keep finding it. Okay, what do I need to work on today? All right, bet. It's gonna be a stronger individual. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Right. So it's all based upon you starting to think critically. And the more you think about this, the clearer your purpose will become. Now, I feel like I've taken a decent amount of time to really reflect into understanding my purpose, and I have a very narrow idea of exactly what my purpose here is in this lifetime. But there's always still room for more clearer details, right? Should be always work in progress, understanding your purpose. The more you think about it, the more detailed it becomes. The more detailed it becomes, the less you have to wonder why or wonder, oh, is this what I want? The moment your picture becomes like 4K quality, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, 4K quality on the TVs. The moment your vision and your purpose becomes 4K quality, you can then start to, it makes taking the actions that much more easier because you know exactly what you need to do to become that. So ask yourself this: why is your strength that you mentioned earlier, why is your strength beneficial to the world? Why does why is your strength needed in today's world? Think critically, right? Why do we need more leadership in the world? Why do we need more people that communicate effectively? Why do we need more people that are creative? Why do we need more people who are empathetic? Why is that important? You don't have to write in the chat, but you can. I see Melanie out here laughing at me. Why is it important? Right. And the next question you need to ask yourself is, do you feel like there's a lack of that strength in today's world? And if so, why? Why are there not enough leadership? Why is there not enough? There's a lack of leadership in today's world. Why? Why do I think? It's because we have too many managers, not enough leaders. We have too many people telling you what to do instead of showing you how and why we do it. It's too many people that don't want to communicate. They want people to read their minds, right? Why is that? Because they were never taught how to communicate. There's not enough creative people in the world, right? Because everyone's spending their time building someone else's dream instead of their own. Why is that important? Because you spend your time building someone else's dream, right? You're helping someone else's dream. It's just that simple. And why do I feel like there's a lack of empathy in the world? Because people are too selfish. People are too focused on them instead of seeing things from other people's view. Now, this is something that I actually it was something I needed to work on. But the moment I stopped thinking about myself and thinking for other people, thinking about how it's going to benefit somebody else, and I don't get any benefit, that's when I really realized how important it was. That's how I realized that I can be a leader because I have the ability to not think for myself anymore. I can think for other people without expecting a return. That's how you know you're doing something sincerely, is when there's absolutely no interest, there's no return out of the actions that you take. That's when you can say you're really doing something out of the kindness of your heart. So the last thing, the lack of leadership, because we are fed the fear of the obstacles. Absolutely, facts. That's why we don't have enough entrepreneurs. That's big facts. We don't have enough entrepreneurs because they're so focused on the obstacles instead of focusing on the goal. That's the difference between a dreamer and a visionary. A dreamer just focuses on the obstacles that are in the obstacles that are separating them from their goal, right? That's why they just dream. They don't take action. A visionary sees the goal and that's all they see. They don't see the obstacles. They deal with it as they come through, right? Oh, hurdle. Okay, boom, whatever. Still focus on when I ran track, right? The goal was to focus on the finish line, not on the hurdles in between. And anybody that started to look at the hurdles, but instead of the finish line, right? That's why they lose. So this is the last part of this, right? Last part of this workshop. But appreciate, ladies, appreciate y'all sharing. My boy Frankie on too. What's going on, bro? You was leaving me hanging, man. It's like, nah. So the last part of this, right? The last part of this workshop is setting goals now, right? And this is very, very simple, but it's going to really help you understand. Now, we broke down understanding our values. We turned that into a mission statement. Having that mission statement, we now are able to identify who we are. People can read our mission statement and understand exactly who we are based upon our values that we incorporated. We then identified our strengths and understood that our strengths are identified as the things that we do that puts us into the flow state where you lose track of time. And so you can do it so effortlessly, right? We identified our strength to help us understand the actions we can take to the actions that we can take that align with our values, right? That was the purpose of identifying our strength. And the final part, right, is setting up the actual goal. And this is how you can effectively set up good goals to understand not just what the goal is, not just how to get the goal done, but why. So if you have a piece of paper or, if you don't have it, rewatch this, but I want you to divide your paper up into 3 columns, right? 3 columns. Boom, 3 vertical columns. Boom, boom, right? And I want you to put at the top of the first column, what? What is your goal? Is it retiring your parents? Is it building a trust fund for your children? Is it leaving a legacy behind? Whatever your goal is, right? Is it making someone smile? Mentoring and teaching somebody the same thing that was taught unto you? There's so many different things, but your goals are your goals. So in the what section, write down whatever goals you really want to achieve here in 2022. We're not 2022. We're not talking about 5 years right now. Let's set up some immediate goals. Let's set up some moderately short-term, long-term goals. Give me 1 second, guys. My kids are wild. My kids are wild. Y'all got kids. Everybody got kids on this call, so you already know how it is. So you wrote down the what, right? What is the goal? Now, how? How are you going to achieve it? We talked about strengths and understanding the things that we do well puts us into flow state. So based on your strengths, how are you going to get it done? How can you incorporate your strengths to allowing your goal to be able to be accomplished, right? This is where you write the how. Give yourself a plan, give yourself a command and stick to it. That's what true discipline is. Discipline is giving yourself a command long after the feeling of when you had it, when you first made the goal, when you first said it to yourself, has gone. I'm going to say that again because I definitely chopped that up a little bit, right? Definitely remixed it. Discipline is giving yourself a command and sticking to it long after the feeling you had when you first created it is gone. That's how you know you're truly disciplined, is when you can give yourself a command and stick to it, regardless of who's watching. That's the most important thing. We like to do things when everyone's watching, but behind closed doors, we don't want to hold ourselves accountable. So make sure that you stick to that. That's the effectiveness behind writing things down. You write it down because it's in print. right? You're not just saying it in your head. You see it there. It's almost like creating a contract to yourself. So create the how. How are you going to obtain this goal in 2022? Give yourself daily tasks, and it doesn't have to be crazy, y'all. I'm reading a book called The Compound Effect, right? The compound effect. And it talks about small little habits build up into a bigger result. But it's the small things. Waking up at 6 a.m. every morning, right? Or waking up a minute earlier every single day. It'll bring in the big result. If you told yourself that you were gonna wake up a minute early for 90 days, right? Every day you wake up a minute earlier, right? A minute doesn't really sound like a big deal, right? But after 30 days, now you wake up a half hour early. That's hard for people to do. After 60 days, you're waking up an hour earlier, right? That's incredibly difficult for people. And then 90 days, you woke up an hour and a half earlier. Family, think about how many people can't do that. But you see how the small things lead into the bigger result. So when you're creating the how part, and I'll move on to the next, make sure you create a small daily task, something that's easy to do. And you'll see that if you stay consistent over time, it'll really build into a bigger thing, right? What my boy Frankie said, discipline is doing what you said you were going to do, even after motivation. That's what it was. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I couldn't think of it. I knew it off the top of my head, right? Yeah. So exactly. Doing something you said you were going to do long after the motivation, because motivation doesn't last. You don't need motivation. You need to find your purpose. Motivation will only last you for so long. No one stays motivated forever. And if anyone says they do, it's cap. And then the last part, right? After you identified your how are you going to achieve this goal? Ask yourself why. Why do you need to achieve this goal? Everything starts with why. And I know we did it backwards, but at the end of the day, understanding the why is probably the most important part. Because if you don't know why you do it, it's no wonder why you don't wake up motivated. You don't wake up excited, right? Yes, we feel tired. I'm not saying you're not supposed to feel tired, but that why is what still makes you go even further. When you're tired as hell, you're emotionally drained, right? You want to just cry, guys. You ever want to scream into a pillow? Right? Ever get so overwhelmed, you just want to scream into a pillow, right? But reminding yourself of your why is what makes you continually keep going, right? When you want to scream into a pillow, you just want to shut off everything. But your why, right, really is the feather that broke the camel's back that makes you want to keep going instead of just quitting. And that's why it's easy for most people to quit, because their why isn't strong enough. They rushed their why. They didn't take time to really understand it, right? And it's just easy for them to quit. That's why when people join my business, when I take on mentees, I really focus on building their why, because people can say all the time they're going to be with you, they're going to be ride or die. I got you, bro. I'm never going to leave you, right? But if I don't feel like they have a strong enough why, then it doesn't mean anything. It's not to mean I'm not going to be their friends. It's not going to mean I'm not going to be cool with them. But I just know that I can't take them serious. I can't go the long distance, right, with them, because they don't have a strong enough why. Because success truly is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So that is the call. I hope you guys have gotten some insight on how to critically think about that why. For the next half hour or till whenever, I love to bring everybody on, because I feel like we all could connect. I feel like definitely would love to network and stuff like that. But also too, I want to kind of get your insight on how you feel about it. Maybe share if you guys have discovered your why, or it really helps you start to understand your purpose. But yeah, for sure, definitely. If you guys want to hop on, If you go down to the bottom of your screen, hit the little plus sign in the camera, hop on the call. Let's just kick it. I just got my coffee, right? Get to know each other. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if y'all got kids and stuff like that, but mine's are content right now. So but yeah, I'm gonna get off of YouTube. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Breakfast with Aldron. I really hope you gained some value from it. Tune in next week on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace and love to all of you guys. Love y'all, fam. And I'll see you guys next week. All right. So